Travis the Whoa. I almost said it, but you're not the Walker anymore. Travis Anderson. It all comes down to this. You are the deciding factor on whether I reach one full year as TV champion and surrender the title on our biggest stage, or my reign comes to an end here on 300 days. I wish we were doing this under more hostile conditions, because although we've shared the screen many times over the World Championship, and you were the one that stole the World Championship from me almost a year and a half ago, we've never gone head-to-head under TV rules, the most basic form of promo combat. Two guys with microphones and no crutch to lean on. Under these conditions, this is a dream match, and a year ago it would have been a titanic battle. But now, there's no animosity. You're part of Dragon Club now. You are a Browdy V. That's Welsh for brother to me. And I mean that because you've been there for me so many times. And I've been there for you in your most doubtful moments. See, as much as we've been enemies, I think the mutual respect has always been there. I recently talked about how Swerve Strickland is the Joker to Hangman Adam Page's Batman. And in many ways I see parallels with us. We keep going head to head, then going our separate ways, just to come back again. But I don't consider you the Joker to my Batman, because we were enemies that became allies. I consider you the Superman to my Batman. So tell me, do you bleed? I know you bleed because you have bled all over this podcast for 5 years. You are almost the John Moxley of Max Wrestling. But do you bleed the blood of Owain Glyndor? You see, unlike Mox, you don't get to just waltz in and take another championship. See, this was supposed to be a test for you. Phoenix wanted to know if you could be trusted in a fair fight after our history. But this is also a test for me. Somehow, some way, I have beaten some of the best to retain this TV championship for almost a year. And if we're being honest, Trav, TV Rules was built for someone like you. You are the ultimate one-shot, straight promo, shoot promo type of guys in Max Wrestling. You've been doing these types of promos for years, even under the mask, even as the Walker. So this is my final test. Either we prove here and now that I'm as good as Travis Anderson, or I couldn't beat the final boss. The way to win TV Rules is to predict how long your opponent will go. Now I know you have an affinity for long promos and telling stories, so I could have taken the easy way out. Cut a 30-second promo and let you go way over 3 minutes more than me and get yourself disqualified. But that wouldn't have proven a damn thing to you or me. So instead, I'm going to talk about your history. See, I remember you coming in like yesterday. In 2019, that mask was a showstopper. I instantly saw money when I saw that mask when you first appeared. And if that wasn't impressive enough, you went straight for the... You know what? This name has not passed my lips in 4 years. Not even in private, not even as a word. But if this is my proving ground as TV champion, then I'm gonna fucking say it. You went straight for the Butcher. The meanest, nastiest son of a bitch that has ever been on Max Wrestling, so much so that we kicked him to the curb. You went straight for him, literally begging for a match. You beat Moses Marquez in King of the Mic, infamously leaving him with only 9% of the vote. Then you and Phoenix took away Mike Larkin's 2 championships on the same night. And so began the controversy. Because people seem to get butthurt when Travis Anderson wins a championship. Just like when you were revealed as Alexander Rowan, the hacker. They went nuts. Newsflash, people, he didn't even win the match. Calm your tits. And then, of course, just like when you won the promo championship for the second time, we had to deactivate it because, for one reason or another, people went butthurt over the voting or the judges or the blah, 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 whatever the bullshit was. But that was before 2020. A hell of a tough year for almost everybody. And it was, by far, the darkest year of my life. I went through shit that I wouldn't wish on a single soul walking this earth. And on top of that shit, I made the difficult decision to walk away from this show that I have poured my heart into since 2015. And the first two people that came to bat for me was Moses Marquez and Travis Anderson. Travis Anderson triggered the shift. The two of you led the charge, assembled everyone together, and refused to let me throw it all away. That is something I will never forget. The signed picture of The Undertaker that hangs on my wall behind me every week on Max Wrestling was a gift from you. The video from Velvet Sky, my 15-year-old self's crush at Promo Mania a couple of years ago, was a gift from you. I wish you were coming to Wembley this summer so that we could finally meet in reality, face to face, not in the promo verse, but in the real world, so that I could buy you a damn drink and thank you for being you. And that's the whole point behind this rebirth of yours. That's the whole point of dropping the name. Because you don't need to be the Walker. You don't need to be Alexander Rowan. You simply need to be Travis Anderson. And if I want to solidify this reign as champion and go down as the greatest promo participant in Max Wrestling history, I simply need to beat you.
Everybody wants to ask me, are you going to fight with honor? Are you going to screw the captain to get the gold? Phoenix doesn't trust me. Moses keeps feeding that fear and that insecurity by calling me the Walker every damn week. Regardless of the fact that that guy's gone and never coming back. You know, a year ago from this event, last year's Promo Rumble, I walked in world champion, and I got screwed by you, Phoenix. You were the one. You were the one that tried to sabotage me and cost me the world championship with that gavel of yours. Now, granted, Teddy P, he was the one to screw us both. But don't get it twisted. I was not the one that screwed you. You have this misconception of me that I'm still this other guy. Your beef is with the Walker, not with me. You're curious to know if I'll fight with honor. Well, sir, you're not the first to tell me about that. You see, a couple of years ago, I had a match with a certain somebody and I called him a bitch. You could argue how that's crossing a line, even though nothing was meant by it. It was all for fun and games and in the spirit of competition, and my opponent understood that. However, it still upset a few other people. Ironically enough, one of those people, today is their birthday. And they were the first to talk to me about fighting with honor. Told me to stop being that asshole. But that's where that misconception is, and that's where a lot of people get their feathers fluffed, and that's where the drama begins. Is that misconception. See, I'm not the asshole that everybody makes me out to be. The Walker was an asshole. But the guy behind the mask, the man behind the gimmick, he was not an asshole. At least he tried not to be. But that's where you gotta understand, Phoenix, is like, there's a part of me that wants to let that asshole back out. Especially right now in the heat of competition, and got gold on the line and everything. And I could sit here and be an asshole and talk shit about how you cost me the world championship. How dare you be sour and bitter and just hold a grudge over me. I could do that. I could sit here and sabotage the captain and cost him the title and take it for myself. But I'm not going to. I could sit here and be an asshole and talk shit about Moses Marquez and how he calls me the fucking Walker every damn week, regardless, and knowing that in the script every week my name is wrote down as Travis Anderson, not the Walker. But you're just saying that just to get a rise out of me, to feed that insecurity that Phoenix has. And that's okay. That's okay. I could be an asshole and sit here and talk shit about Chris Reed. I could talk shit about how shit his promos are. I could talk shit about how the only entertaining thing in his promos is the dog that pops up every once in a while behind his piles of dirty clothes. I could be that asshole. But what I want everyone to understand, it ain't me. I'm not that guy no more. I don't want to be that guy anymore. A certain individual that called me out a few years ago, I wanted to call him out too. I wanted to call him out and challenge him to a match last year at Promo Mania. Didn't happen. The dude is ridiculously hard to get a hold of. But not just only that, but that was when my mother passed away too. It's when I was going through changes. That's when I was done. That was when the Walker walked away. But I'm not that guy anymore, and that's why I'm back. Because I don't want that asshole mentality. I don't want that evil that I would unleash when I became the Walker. It's not good for me. It's not good for my health. It's not good for my mind. It's not good for my heart. It's not good for any of it. And I just don't want it anymore. I don't want that negativity in my life anymore. I just don't need it. I don't want it. And I'm not going to allow it to happen. So I'm not going to sit here and screw the captain. I'm not going to sit here and talk shit about people. Instead, I'm just going to do this. I want to thank the captain for allowing me to join the family, to join Dragon Club and be a part of something special that means something, that's full of just love and support. Because that's what I need right now. I want to thank Dr. Emir Blackbane Costello. the RWT Kingpin. I want to thank him for everything that he's done for me, to help me with the guidance, to help me lose weight, to fix my brain, to fix my mentality, to help me release myself of the asshole within that was the walker. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you, Captain. Thank you, Emir. Thank you, Dragon Club. And thank you to everyone that's been there for me over the last few years. I love you all. And Captain, may the best men win. And Moses, fuck you. Oh, and Dr. Costello, happy belated birthday.